Hi, it's me, Angie from Learn Love Tarot, here to share how the weekly moon cycle and planetary energies of this week will affect our own personal energies so that we can be more empowered with this knowledge in order to harness these energies for our best and highest good. If you do find this information useful, please let me know by hitting the like button and sharing your comment with our other Learning Lovers tribe members. And thank you to all of you who do share your beautiful energy with me by subscribing to the channel. I appreciate that so much. To learn more about me and how to book a personal reading or receive a custom created birth chart, please visit my home channel. So let's get to it. Okay, for those who have been with me a hot minute, you know that I see the moon cycle as an energetic roller coaster, right? That ebbs and flows, with the full moon being at the type of the roller coaster, and the new moon energy when the light of the moon is turned completely down as the bottom of the roller coaster. Now, further, what you may feel is when we are at the full moon, emotions are heightened, right? They're on display, and we are able to sit at the top in our roller coaster seat and see the entire park. The full light of the moon is turned on. We can see everything around us, what rides perhaps metaphorically need repair, what areas of the park need to open up and flow for better traffic, so on and so forth. So as we are at the top of this lunar coaster with this full moon energy, or our yin energy, we all have our own yin and yang within us at all times that is constantly trying to balance. The top of the cycle is our yin energy. And as you could imagine, if you are in this coaster seat here, you're already up at the top and we're going down. There is no buddy that's going to come and exit us off the ride at the top. The work that we do the 2 weeks prior to that full moon is the ride that we're going to experience on the yin energy. So this is all about surrender. We throw our hands up and say we, and this is the ride that we get again from the 2 weeks prior of the work that we put in. And I have said we get what we get and we don't throw a fit, knowing that as we cycle down here into this yang or masculine energy, okay, that this is our new beginning part of the moon. Okay, so this is where we release and let go or surrender. And this is where we pause, get off the ride, maybe go to another roller coaster, and then we use that masculine energy again, the action of the Emperor energy, to build towards the next stop of the coaster, if I can spit it out during Mercury retrograde, and then we get that ride. Okay, so the way that I look at the lunar calendar is a lot different from a traditional 4-week calendar. I break the 4 weeks of time into these segments here. So at the start of that new moon, when we're getting on the coaster, building our ride, we come up to that halfway point where we are starting again to turn the light of the moon on. So that'll be dark on the left, and this is called a first quarter moon. And then we have our full moon. And as we are releasing and surrendering, we hit the third quarter moon, where we are turning the light down on the moon. Okay, and we are at that component now. This is the section I'm going to be talking about today. We hit this energy here last week, last Monday for that post. I did try to record this, guys, 5 times last night and kept getting interrupted. And you know what? You just have to follow the energy and be like, okay, that's where we are. So we're going to be starting here at this point of the third quarter moon, which was Saturday, 322. And we have readings posted for those days as well. And then we're going to go all the way down here to the bottom of the coaster, which is our solar eclipse in Aries. And that is Saturday, 329. Okay. And with this Aries solar eclipse here, this is a kind of an energy of that's a wrap, where they take the little clappers and say that is a wrap. This is the last eclipse of this kind. For Aries in nearly 2 decades. So we won't be experiencing this same kind of energy again. Now, as we go down this portion here, that's what I'm going to be going through day by day, reviewing Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday, and then letting us know what to expect for the rest of the week leading up through Saturday and even Sunday. I will see you there. Okay, so in review, we are starting on the third quarter moon energy of Saturday, 322. So this will be so that you can look back and relate to what I'm saying. So we'll get to the predictive stuff down here, but I want you to be able to go back if you're a journaler, or well, it's still fresh in our memory from Saturday, kind of the energies that were going on or that you felt. So, again, that you can learn to feel and understand what your body feels like during these different phases. And on Saturday, anytime we hit this third quarter position here, that is an energy of where we are requiring adjustment. Okay, we pause, we're halfway down the coaster, and we decide if we're going to be sticking with our old plans or making new ones. We are deciding that if there are any messages of conflict or challenges, what we're going to do with those and how we're going to approach those. And it's also a moment, like I said, of where you're halfway down the coaster. So if you have not threw your hands up to say, you may not want to let go of those rails, but why not? You're there. You've got to release. You kind of have no choice at that point. You're on the ride. So on that day, the moon was in Capricorn energy, and that's kind of boss up energy. Third quarter moon is when the dial out of 360 degrees, we are at that 270 position from the sun. Now, as far as the sun, we are going to be in Aries this entire reading here. The sun that day, of course, was in Aries. And what was also cool is that we had a Venus cazimi. And that happens when there is a conjunction of the planets. So we had the sun, you'll see a little circle with a line here. And that is an empowering energy, because conjunct means that those two energies are visiting each other in the same sign at the same degree, so that the amplification of that energy is exponential. Okay, so we had the sun conjunct Venus, and they're empowering each other. This is the planet of beauty, harmony, diplomacy, what we value, our pleasures, how we indulge, our taste and our style, combining with or visiting our heartbeat, our energy, our creativity, okay, how we are self sufficient. Our sun is our life force energy. And that day, we were around with this conjunction was at 2 degrees 39 minutes, and with the Sabian symbols we round up to the next higher degree. And that was all about seeing ourselves in the context of being in relation to others. We are mirrors for others as they are for us in every single one on one relationship. And that was the energetic vibration of a 7 day. When we add 3 plus 22 plus the year of 2025 being a 9, we get a 34, which is a 7 of the chariot. And when our heart and our head are aligned, we do not need the reins because our soul energy drives the chariot. Our soul energy is our Merkaba, or our soul's chariot. The sister energy to that is one of the towers. So on Saturday, you could have experienced some kind of surprise, some kind of ending that was immediately transformed into a way to build a new beginning. Also on Saturday, we noted that that was the halfway point of the Venus retrograde. So what happens is we are moving forward in the degrees, and then in a retrograde, we actually work our way. We put our stick shift in reverse, and we're reversing back through the energies we've already experienced. Now, within that 40 days and 40 nights time frame of Venus in retrograde, at that halfway point, obviously we've come up for 20 days, and now we're moving out. We're on the tail end of that. We're over on the other side of experiencing the last 20 days starting from Saturday. The reading that day did feature a choice of 99s, and we saw that we could either choose the Nine of Pentacles and Nine of Cups, or if we wanted to continue doing the same things in the same way, we're going to stick with that old plan. Maybe that even wasn't working. Then we're going to continue a pattern of that Nine of Wands and Nine of Swords being all up in our head about it. So let me know in the comments if that resonates for you. And we are going to move over into Sunday's energy. Okay, continuing on to Sunday, March 23rd, was an Life Path 8 day of vulnerability. And that is all about the 8th chakra, which is the star soul chakra. And in that reading, that was called Truth or Illusion. And I wrote down how there were some get her done vibes. Okay. And with that Life Path 8, that is an energy of strength, of the inner balance, bringing about outer balance around us. And the importance of its sister sign, the 17, 1 plus 7 is 8, of staying tethered to that dream. And I talked about the red thread of destiny was in my meditation that morning at yoga. And boy, did that come through in the reading, the red thread of destiny. On Sunday, the moon was still in Capricorn at its third quarter stage. So we're still in that bossed up energy of our feelings. And the third quarter is that chocolate on the right, vanilla on the left, where we are required again to make adjustments of either sticking with the old plans or making new plans. The sun that day was still in the first 5-degree theme of emergence. And we had two lovers here, with the sun being at 3 degrees 25, rounding to 4. Two lovers strolling through a secluded walk. And that is all about balancing the inner feminine and masculine polarities. So it was no coincidence that that happened to appear on an 8 day with the fire energy of Leo, and also the sun being literally in that symbol of what that card represents. In addition to that, we have Mercury also in Aries. That was at the Sabian lesson of this 6, developing our particular drive and focus. We are motivated by desire. And that was as far as our words, thoughts, our perceptions, our visions, our curiosity. Venus was at the 2-degree mark, 9 minutes, rounding up to a 3. So we're going backwards in both Mercury, revisiting these lessons, putting our Aries car in reverse and driving back. These planets are driving back through the Aries energy. And that was about seeing ourselves in the context of being in relation to others, because we learn about our own selves, our shadows, and we show and teach others about themselves through those relationships and the mirror images we project onto each other and perhaps are triggered by. Now, in addition, Mars finally ticked over a little bit slower. It's been in Cancer for a while now, and it was retrograding what felt like forever, moving forward in our action. Mars does not love being in the sign of Cancer because it's a water sign. It feels like, why do I have to deal with feelings and be slowed down by feelings? But in this theme, or the degrees of this section of Mars moving forward, driving ahead in first year through Cancer's energy, that was a woman awaiting a sailboat. And that is about becoming able to withstand the poignancy of dreaming's uncertainty. And it's really something that brings forth a strong emotion, or something that affects our power. We're able to be withstanding those strong emotions and things that would affect our power. Now, the most important aspect I felt on that day, especially after the reading that we got, was that the sun was sextiling Pluto. And again, sextiles are 60 degrees away. They bring opportunity, collaboration. They synergize the energies. So that was the theme of emergence, synergizing with the Aquarian theme of balance for its first 5 degrees. And then that was synergizing with this 2 lovers in a secluded stroll. That was synergizing with healing, a Hindu healer, and understanding that necessary lessons that heal ourselves of distortions of light. When we see our triggers through the mirrors of other people who bring them about in us, or what we are triggered by through their own reaction or their actions, those are distortions of light, our shadow self that just simply shows us what needs healing. So we have this emergence energy synergizing with balance. And boy, was that reading off the hook. My notes that morning were about, I felt like there was a pathway or steps energy up to energize or consciousness emerging. So anything that was hidden in the subconscious being brought forward and emerging into our consciousness. Okay, there's the notes that are still there posted for that day are really, really good. What was the most auspicious to me was that day, Uranus, I made a note that it was sitting at 24 degrees, 24 minutes of Taurus. And that, in fact, ended up coming out in our advice of that 24 energy, bringing our ideas to life. It was in reverse. So it's like they hadn't fully emerged yet, or we haven't fully constructed that idea, or at least shared it with the world. And then the 24 card, also of a whole different deck, came out regarding what the whole reading was about. And it was about the divine matrix and about this communication, how the mushrooms in the forest are like a little internet for the forest creatures and all living things in the forest. So that 24 auspiciously showed up And that was a bit crazy. So it was really, really cool. And then in addition to that, we did talk about the 22 symbol of Chiron, the healer, and how that coordinated with the 22nd date of the halfway point of Venus's retrograde. And we saw the 22 card of the dragonfly, more soulmate energy and truth transcending illusion. So, again, that reading was called Truth or Illusion. And you can see more. It was the Somebody Said But So storytelling about a light worker as the protagonist. And the opportunity here was to step into the fates and step into their fate. Very, very interesting reading. And then lastly, on that day, I had shared that I had a whole ass turkey cross my path as I was coming home from yoga. And that is all about giving with grace and gratitude. So I hope you'll check out that reading or these readings that sound interesting you that we're talking about here. And then we will move on to Monday's energy and reviewing life path 9 of the hidden truth. That would be the soul code ninth chakra here, which was yesterday's reading. We did have a Mercury Cazimi happening. We'll talk about that in just a second, because on the morning first, before that happened, we of course had our sun in Aries, and we have moved to this 5 degrees, the triangle with wings symbol that we saw on the Somebody Said But So Sunday reading. We're still in the third quarter moon phase from 270 degrees until 315 degrees when we hit that balsamic energy. And at 11 a.m., the moon went void of course in Capricorn at this 30 energy of the end of that moon's cycle before it heads over into Aquarius. And that was about coming to realize that true mastery involves the need for spiritual wisdom at the highest level of management, especially regarding collective affairs, the boss energy of Capricorn. And it's sextiled and synergized with Neptune in Pisces, who is at its last symbol, last degree, which is an anaretic degree. And that means that that is time for the SAT, or the test of the lesson of that planet. Is it a dream? Is it illusion? And Monday's reading was about coming home to your heart. And in that sextile, that was synergizing with or bringing an opportunity to become whatever we idealize. That is the test out, so to speak. And Neptune is a generational planet. It moves slowly. So these last 5 degrees have been all about the realization of faith. And then at 11:24 a.m., so not very far after the void of course started, which is much like a retrograde for Mercury, it can throw communications off. The moon moved into Aquarius, which is a fixed energy. So our emotions do stabilize when we move into a fixed sign moon. And then later on, as I mentioned, we had a Mercury Cazimi at 3:48 p.m. These are all Eastern Standard Times. So Aries, in the sign of Aries, the sun conjuncted or joined together with at the same degree of 4 degrees 24 Aries, which rounds up to this fives, finding the necessary skills pardon me, loyalties and values to raise to higher levels of consciousness. So that again is beautifully helping that Neptune test for us. And in that reading, not only was it a 9-day of the Hermit as we're examining the mountains that we've climbed and the enlightenment that comes along the way from learning those lessons, even when we're confused, we learn to either trust the loyalty of our feelings and that dog energy, or we fear our feelings and fear what is hidden in the moon, the unknown, and maybe hold anxiety about either what is hidden in our moon or what we don't know. And we give in to that shadow energy of fear, which then of course presents our manifestations from coming. And in that reading, we did see that we were having the aha moment that we, no matter what our dream has been, we have the power to change our mind and communicate that. And I talked about the turkey energy in that video because I forgot to mention it on Sunday. And it was all about giving with gratitude and grace and helping our manifestation. And it spoke of compassion for ourselves while we were doing so. And the 9 energy of the day came out strong here in not only the crossing energy of the environment, coming home to our heart and coming home to our heart with compassion, perhaps for anything that maybe our path was made more arduous by, any decisions or choices, and how in the future we can learn from that. And even ones that perhaps hurt our heart, we can learn from that and take the energy and the lessons of that forward. And then we had another 9. So we had the 99 show up, we had 22s, 33, 44, and then we had the 1111 energy again, with the 4 of Wands at the heart of the reading yesterday. And again, look at the beautiful color energies there, coming home to our own heart with compassion. And that does bring that magnetic, beautiful, magical energy of the 1111. And we have, perhaps even if we were losing direction or needing direction, it feels like that energy was coming to a close by 99, again, 99 problems, but what isn't one anymore? That will bring us into our own soul alignment, understanding that sometimes our dreams change, and we can use strategy to figure out how to sometimes make lemonade out of the life lemons that we are feeling that we have received. So that would be, I'll attach those readings for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Today's reading was also beautiful. We did an all elemental energies and then their sign, all signs. We'll see you for Tuesday's planetary energy. Alrighty, and now we make it to the present day of Tuesday the 25th, which is a life path 1, and that is the path of power. And our first chakra is our red root, and you will always see the thumbnails of my videos matching the color energies of whatever the life path number matching the chakras is that day. So you can keep track, and all my videos are also listed in by life path numbers. So if you want to, for instance, if you are a life path 1, look at every life path 1 video I've ever done. That is on a playlist. So let's look at the energies for today and a tiny bit without spoiler alerts at the reading that I did this morning. So, with it being a 1 day, we take that energy of the date, which adds up to a 37. 3 plus 7 is a 10 of the Wheel of Fortune. That is normally when that is a divine timing card, and when our energy is balanced, that then is the moment that the outside desires come in for us to rise up and grab. Only once our energy is balanced can we then manifest the magician. 1 plus 0 of the 10 comes out to its sister card or sister energy of the magician here. And we still see that lemniscate or that yin yang here, and understanding that these magician energies are all about all 4 aces of potential. So that is the reading that we did today. We pulled the all 4 aces, which is our swords, cups, wands, and pentacles, about what the earth, air, fire, and water signs are all thinking, feeling, what their actions will be, and what's happening in the 3D energy of those pentacles. You can check out that reading that'll be attached below if you have not already looked at it today. With the sun, today, we are moving out of the old theme of emergence and into the next 5 degrees or next 5 days of drive. So we see this fire starter energy emerging out and now taking action on these all 4 aces of potential. And this lesson is about developing a particular drive and focus motivated by our desires. Okay. The energy of the moon is still in its 3rd quarter phase where we're making adjustments, still in Aquarius as it shifted there yesterday. And our emotions, again, with a fixed energy, emotions stabilize. If they were feeling a little bit mutable or off balance or changeable even all in one day, this is when emotions stabilize. Now, interestingly, we have the energy of Mercury also in Aries. Remember, it's retrograding or going backwards. So it came back to this symbol of the 2 lovers strolling through a secluded walk, balancing the inner and in the inner masculine and feminine polarities. Mercury, the planet of communication, when it's in retrograde, it's all about re-examining, which does bode well for this 3rd quarter moon energy of, are we sticking with the old, or are we forging ahead into new? So that energy will happen tonight at 6:02 p.m., where Mercury retrograde will sextile or synthesize with 60 degrees away, that Pluto in Aquarius energy. So definitely have a look back to the energy where we saw this theme of emergence and balance. That energy is going to come into play today for you. So themes that you experienced on Sunday may show up again, except we had here, it was the sun at that Sabian lesson. And today it is Mercury sextiling Pluto rather than the sun sextiling Pluto. So at 6:02 tonight, I wrote down our spidey senses are on full alert, spidey senses activate, and we had the song of I Want It That Way coming through. So let me know if that resonates for you, and I hope you do enjoy today's reading. Again, attached below. I'll save the information, except I will talk about the Ace of Cups that did present itself, showing the action, the drive forward to raise our personal vibration so that we can manifest or even grab what we've already manifested in that higher frequency, and that turns luck in our favor. So I feel like the energy is balancing out. We are all balancing. We keep seeing it in the energy of the readings as well with the cards that are pulled. So I will see you next with tomorrow's energy. Okay, moving into predictive energy. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, the 26th of March, that is adding up to a 38 with that date. which reduces to the 11 of the Justice energy with the sister energy of the High Priestess. And that is the path of knowledge if you're a life path 2. So, what is happening today is kind of a lot. So, here's those energies here. There's that balance we are seeing so much of already earlier in the week, and allowing these messages to come through. And if you're not familiar with this deck, I don't think it'll do it for us here, but when you move the card, you can see her eyes are open and then closed, and you can see the connection there to her third eye and that esoteric knowledge being downloaded. So the High Priestess energy, highly intuitive, and again, that the protagonist energy on Sundays, somebody said, but so reading. So, Wednesday morning, having come out of this energy of release, what have we been asking our soul to surrender to healing about? What upsets or habits we need to release and surrender to? We enter just before midnight Tuesday night, entered the balsamic moon stage where we hit that 315 degrees. So when you look up in the night sky, you'll see that the light of the moon is almost turned all the way down. It's on its dimmer switch. And that is the moment at which we end bad habits and relationships. It's our final crescendo energy before letting go and moving on to that new beginning at the very bottom of our roller coaster. So the final countdown, the final crescendo, and I wrote down as I was looking at these energies, it is a whole mood. And let me tell you why. So Wednesday's sun will be at an energy of creating an extension of life possibilities. So using those all four aces of potential from the day prior to create more possibilities for ourselves. And very early in the morning at 6:14 a.m., the moon is going to go void, of course. And guys, we're going to be here the majority of the workday. So if you're hearing this before Wednesday, get your business done the most that you can on Tuesday, because again, Wednesdays, it's a bit of a mood. It's a whole mood. Okay. So again, void of course energy is just about it's almost as if like it's a retrograde where it holds still. We have those communication issues, and best to just maybe stay balanced yourself, communicate within, and know that communication and electronics may just be off. So we're going to be holding this void of course in the fixed sign of Aquarius. And then listen to this business here. So when that moon goes void, of course, it's going to be at 24 degrees, 30 minutes, and that is a roundup to a 25. This is the theme of poise. So just hold your ground here. Try to hold poise through this moody, fixed, maybe even stubborn energy. Like I said, Wednesday's a whole mood. And where it's squaring is rising above emotionality. And in Tuesday's reading, we saw that overflow of emotion, right? So then with this void of course in the morning, as we square off with fixed energies, we rise above that in order to attain the spiritual wisdom here that is trying to pour in. Slow your roll, hold your poise, that radical energy. Now squares are energies where there's no movement because it creates tension. It's like two people are pushing equally against that square. And when that happens, there's no movement because the forces are in equal energy here. And what it is, the moon will be squaring, the poise will be challenging authoritarian energy or authority. And Tuesday, what day? It says this is for Wednesday. It was last night, which would have been Monday night. I had a dream. It was about all I saw were lightning bolts everywhere. So this could be foreshadowing some kind of event that is shocking or surprising, or some kind of a revolution, a breakthrough, the aha moment, that surprise energy. There could be some kind of freedom involved. And what is challenging this rising above our emotionality is squaring, trying to push against becoming capable of full participation and acceptance of community responsibilities. So, again, communication is going to be off with that moon void, of course. The moon is all about our feelings and our emotions, it's about family. Um, it's our privacy, right? Our comfort. We could have issues of digestion happen with a void in course, especially with this square happening where we are being challenged to hold our poise as we are fully participating in some kind of community activity, which can even be just family. So even if we feel some kind of way, like I said, it is a whole moon, but then by 331, as a matter of fact, that's a 5 of change. We change signs of the moon over into Pisces. So we're getting back to that mystical energy, and we have that day's power card lining up with the moon on Wednesday after 3:30. Also at 3:30, our Chiron, the healer, right? Maybe healing and helping out the plight of the Aquarius moon here, helping us heal there. We have moved in the theme of progression. We at 3:30 we hit that 22 degrees exact. So we've been at 21 degrees moving through all the 59 minutes, which has been this energy of the gate to the garden of desire. We're standing at the gate metaphorically, and we are taking on optimism, that synergy, sharing our abundance as life principles. So it's like I got a new attitude, Patti LaBelle energy, but standing at the gate to the garden of our desires. And we are moving forward at 3:32, that 22 degree 00 minutes. And that means that we move into the next symbol or the next lesson of Aries in this progression, which is a woman in pastels carrying a heavy and valuable but veiled load. So think about that for a hot second, because for me, I saw the energy of the 10 of Wands. Let me see if I have it here. I do. Okay. I was like, ooh, that's some 10 of Wands vibes. And that's what that looks like here. That's what came up in my mind's eye. A woman in pastels carrying a heavy and valuable but veiled load. The 10 of Wands is all about releasing the patterns, repeated patterns of the 9 of Wands. It's a feeling of exhaustion, but okay, now I'm resolved to leave that pattern behind and blaze a new trail. Maybe just taking everything with me on the back and the bowl that I came that I came in with. But this is about our creative assertiveness towards furthering our potentials. So it's that decision time. That whole mood might have benefited you to be like, okay, I am so tired of being in the 9 of Wands and repeating the same actions over and over again that just continue to get me the same result. Understanding that the pain of getting what we've always gotten has become greater than the pain of walking into the unknown and on a new energy. Okay. Lastly, at 8:30 p.m. Wednesday night, we finally have Black Moon Lilith. I don't have a energetic card for her, but that is about decisions and desire. Notice these themes of our desires continuing to come up, especially as Neptune is in its final SAT lesson of fulfilling our own desires. So for 9 months, Black Moon Lilith has been in the sign of Libra, and her last 5 degrees, the theme has been coming to an understanding. And very interesting that the energetics of the day, we are finding balance. That is the test, or the last lesson of Libra was about using our knowledge as a platform to develop further understanding and move further. Okay, I've learned the lesson. I realize that those 9 of Wands have been repeating, and now it is time, and we're healing that. And now our desires as we move forward can come to be as we move into this new sign of Scorpio. And the first 5 degrees, we're going to have Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio for the next 9 months. She is the table flipper of the asteroids. She is the rebel. She kind of says, F this, I don't like this shiz. And she takes her toys and she goes home. And she kind of, rebels against whatever she is being challenged with. So do look at where Scorpio is starting on your own personal birth chart to see where she's going to be rebelling in your life, or where you're going to be using that energy to push up against things that do not agree with you spiritually, emotionally, physically, you name it. Okay, so she's stabilizing here, but Scorpio is the house of secrets, and it is the house of diving deeper than we've ever gone. It's the planet of death and transformation. It's the house of planet and transformation, rather. And we move here into moving away from our beloved secure past and motivated by curiosity for a greater experience. So that completely lines up with Chiron shifting symbols and into the story of Black Moon Lilith, who is supporting that. I find that extremely interesting. Like I said, it is a whole mood, and it's yes, it is kind of a fed up from the flow up energy, but it's like not arguing anymore. Okay, I get it. I leave that behind. I release it and let it go. And I open myself up to all these new possibilities here. So let's see what we have on store for Thursday. And for Thursday, boy, is the Pisces force strong today. We've got the energy of our third chakra of the solar plexus on the 27th. That date adds up to a 39, reducing to a 12 of the hangman energy. And then that 12 further reduces to a 1 plus 2 is 3 of the Empress energy. And the Empress energy, the planet of Venus, is attached, or rules Taurus and also Libra energies. And this is the power card of Pisces here, this realization of faith, this spiritual enlightenment. Boy, is the numerology really lining up this week for this culmination, for this that's a wrap energy, with that solar eclipse in Aries coming up. So with on Thursday is very exciting, because at 4:40 a.m. in the morning, so we still have our sun energy and theme of drive, and we have moved into guarding our sensitivities. Okay, see how she is very protective. She just knows that she's at that time of, now I just got to kind of wait it out for this creation to come into the light, or for this revelation to happen. And when the moon is in a mutable energy, that's kind of like nothing is set in stone, because it's still working out the details. But again, this is still the balsamic moon, the final crescendo, as that light of the new moon comes completely off. Now at 4:40 a.m., that 44 energy, we do have Venus retrograde rather here, moving out of the theme of emergence, and that would be the last sign of Aries, becoming the essence seed of our soul's incarnation. And we've already, again, driven forward through this energy. Venus has already driven through through 5 degrees Aries. We've reversed 5 back through to the 1. And then at 4:40 in the morning, we do enter that realization of faith next 5 degrees as they're moving their way backwards. And that is, again, becoming whatever we idealize. And this is regarding love, romance, the way we review our own personal magnetism, what we adore, what we value, our sensuality, harmony, right? Attraction, indulging even with that Venus energy. But that's retrograde again, is about ourself. It's internal, it's inside. Now, further, a little bit later on down the line in the morning at 9:30, that Venus retrograde in Pisces will conjunct or empower or meet up, right? They'll join forces there with Neptune at this same degree. So Thursday is going to be empowerment and love, and it's all about, oh my gosh, this is where I belonged all along. And maybe just kind of holding the line, protecting your own energy, maybe even laying low or sharing feelings of love, sharing our dreams, or maybe our dreams are just coming back into a clearer picture where this realization of faith is like, oh my gosh, all the internal work I've been doing all along, all of these challenges have been leading me here back to my own heart's home all along. It is the life path 3 of surrender, okay? Opening up that heart chakra. And I wrote down on my notes as I was feeling through these energies of the week, a serendipity doodah. So if you guys are old enough to remember Dippity Doo, Serendipity Doodah, I don't know if you're going to feel like having a parade on Thursday, but there's some kind of the light bulb turns on, or that aha, or I know how to get there. I know what I value. And this dream that I'm attached to, you know, I understand the difference between if I self-sacrifice too much and have been, giving my power over of my dreams and putting them on hold. It can also be, the veil. The Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, modern day astrology, where Jupiter, the planet of luck and abundance, was traditionally. So I still consider that to be a ruler of Pisces as well. But this is strengthened. Our dream, our love, our connection to our subconscious is even stronger for those. Any illusions to become clear to us as Neptune works its way out of Pisces and towards Aries. That's coming up as well. So that's going to be a very interesting day. I feel like it feels more comfortable than the Wednesday of a whole moon. And it's kind of like, yeah, nothing is set in stone, but I realize where the wiggle room is, and very serendipitous as well. In addition, as if all that Pisces energy wasn't enough happening that day, it is a key astrology day for love. We do have Daddy Sadie moving out of, we're still in Pisces here, Saturn is the planet of wisdom. I call him Daddy Saddy because he's kind of like the drill sergeant of the planets, and he makes sure that we are maturing, that we are practical and grounded, that we have self-control and restraint. In the sign of Pisces, not so easy because that's the dreamer, right? We want to have compassion. It's harder to hold boundaries. The Seven of Wands, harder to hold those Seven of Wands, but releasing and understanding which ones to release that are walls and uphold the ones that protect us. There is a difference. So Saturn, Daddy Saddy, is changing lessons. Again, a slow moving planet. We are still in the theme of purification, but moving out of this inhabited island, maybe feeling alone, using conflict as a mean to learn compassionate, again, that word compassion, compassionate acceptance that, I get it now. That's why that was here for me and not just to, make me really upset. And then we move into the 24th degree, which moves us into the 25th symbol, the purging of the priesthood. And that's all about rooting out corruption. Saturn, Daddy Saddy, the drill sergeant, is really supporting us to rid ourselves of negative thoughts and judgments. That Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords, rumination of the self-imposed prison, lasting into the evening of the Nine of Swords, so much so that we can't sleep. This should not come to a full stop. I mean, that's really hard to do, but if you have a lot of water in your chart, or a lot of air as well, the rumination game is strong. So we are ridding ourselves of those because we understand that that's been slowing our roll as far as bringing in manifestations, or as far as getting in the way of becoming what we idealize. So Saturn, as it continues to go through Pisces, remember, we're going to be hitting, after this 25th degree, we finish out this purification theme process. We move into the themes we've been experiencing all along. Okay, so it's going to have some extra oomph there with Saturn in that same sign, but now it's, not just a suggestion. It's kind of like that's an order. So I hope that helps you. I hope you definitely have some fun serendipity doodahs happen to you on Thursday, and we'll have a look at Friday next. And Friday, we have this heart chakra energy of the fourth chakra. It is a life path 4 energy day of the path of protection if you are a life path 4. And that is symbolized by the emperor energy here, sitting on the planet Mars. And we see him holding a chess piece here. That is leadership energy. The sister energy to that being the death and rebirth energy of Pluto, or the 8th house of Scorpio. So that new beginning, something old ending. And this could even just be with his calmness here, this resolution that it's like the pop before the pop. Again, we're in this crescendo energy of the moon before we hit that solar eclipse, of where these endings could be happening. And it's like an inner reserve to let go of whatever needs let go of. We are having energetic help, even with the numbers. Numbers all hold a vibrational frequency. So that balsamic moon in Pisces at 4:29 PM will go void of course. So at least we have most of the work day where, try to get things done before that void of course hits. I would even say by 4 o'clock, make sure you've dotted your I's and crossed your T's. That mutable back and forth, I can fix it, nothing set in stone. Again, will go void of course, but only for 7 minutes this time. As it goes void, of course, at that 4:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is conjuncting Neptune at the same exact degree. So we see this becoming whatever we idealize theme of the week, of the whole mood really coming into play here before at 4:36. Turning over into the sign of Aries. 4 plus 3 plus 6 would be a 49 or a 13 of this death and rebirth energy. So even as the moon changes signs, this is where we become bold and make the first move, because that happens on any time that the moon moves into a cardinal sign. And we have it conjunct that planet of dreams. It's like an inner resolve kind of feeling. And I also heard the lyrics, chill baby baby chill baby baby wait, and I cannot for the life of me remember what that song is attached to, which song that's attached to. Let me know if you know what the heck I'm talking about. But it could even be this inner resolve, and you let someone know what you're planning to end, and they're like, well, hold on now, maybe if that change that will help you does not benefit them, or they're not getting from you anymore what they used to get, then of course you're going to be, try to be talked out of that. And I don't think that's going to be happening with that clapper energy of ending this cycle of Aries, with that seventh eclipse being the final eclipse. And that is the final one for again 2 more decades. And it's been a story about how we're called to lead with those nodes in Aries and Libra, where we had to find independence and autonomy within one-to-one committed partnerships. And if that balance was not found, this could be the moment that either the universe claps it shut for you, or shows you some kind of new download. Like, if is this part of really where I want to continue to go and where I want to be? I feel like it's that decision time. Even if you haven't taken action on it yet, it's the resolve, or it's the deciding mode. Okay, path of protection adds up to a 40 when you add the date together, and reduces to a 4, sister energy of the 13 that we saw coming through as the moon does enter the sign of Aries, or the emperor here. That could be where we're starting this new fire of within our emotions. Okie dokie, I'll be back with the Saturday energy, the big day. All righty. And finally, reaching the bottom of our roller coaster on Saturday, 3/29. That date adds up to a 41. If that number resonates with you for any reason, 4 plus 1 is a 5 of the Hierophant. So, any burdens that we have put down with that 10 of Wands, and using the energy of the South Node and Virgo, and also the year of the Life Path 9, in order to again be able to be on top of that mountain, looking backward and seeing how either we have delayed or accelerated our ascension path and process. The sister energy to the Hierophant, this is the guru, the shaman, the guide. It's the path of tradition. If you are a Life Path 5, Taurus energy there with the Hierophant. And the sister card would be the Sagittarian energy of Temperance, the 14 major arcana. 1 plus 4 is 5. This is Archangel Michael, alchemizing lead into gold, also showing us and helping us find the puzzle pieces of our own psyche and shadow that will bring our yin and yang energy into balance. Again, learned through the lens of the mirror that others show us as our own reflection. So, on this day, the big eclipse that everybody is talking about here, this yang energy of the new beginning, what happens on a new moon is that the moon conjoins the sun. So they come together, right? And we cannot see the light of the moon. And that new moon is always about new starts, right? That potential that we were pulling on the energy of on Tuesday. Now, when the new moon is in Aries, it is a super powered wishing moon for Gemini. Every time we are in that down slope of the coaster, whatever sign the new moon is in, you go 2 signs beyond that to see where that is a super powered wishing moon. So 2 signs ahead of Aries would be Gemini. And this is your superpower. So wherever Gemini is in your chart, you can make wishes there, but it's a time of action with that new moon in Aries. And with Aries being a cardinal sign, with that time to take action, it's the action is by ourselves. Be bold and make the first move. And then with an eclipse adding that power into this ending, right? It's a wrap on the story of the nodal cycles and eclipses of Aries and Libra. We can expect powerful change when we are being bold and making the first move towards that new action, okay? Ascending up, right? And in addition to that, later on that night. So this is going to be at 6:57 a.m. that solar eclipse, and it is all about. This has been a story for. We won't have it again for 2 more decades, but again, it was the story about how we were called to lead with those eclipse energies in Aries and Libra. That started July 17th of 2023 and lasted all the way through to January 11th of this year. And I was looking at like, did I realize that before? That date, numerology wise, adds up to a 31, which is a 4 energy. And last week we would have been in the 4 energy. Let's see, on Friday was a 6. That means Thursday was a 5 and Wednesday. So last Wednesday was a 4 day. That might have something to do with the eclipse on Saturday. And then in January 11th, 2025 came out into a 12 energy, which we're also seeing this week with that energy of surrender on Thursday, the Empress energy here. It is about independence and autonomy within committed partnerships, all one-to-ones of every kind. And again, that finishes off the last of those nodal eclipses that we experienced during that time and that lesson that was supposed to be learned. In addition, we have Mercury retrograde moving out of the sign of Aries and into Pisces. And I wrote down for Saturday, maybe it's just an arts and crafts day. So it's a great day for creativity. The planet of communication has been moving back through those lessons of Aries, and it's keeping on reversing. So we are leaving that essence seed of our soul's incarnation and Mercury, that theme of emergence, reverses or retrogrades back into, again, I don't know if you're sick of seeing it yet, but this realization of faith is very, very strong. We'll continue to go backwards 30 back through the theme for the next 5 degrees. And where we start on Saturday is moving from that essence seed and again becoming what it is that we idealize. Remember, when Mercury does go direct, then we'll be moving back forwards through all these same lessons again, and then moving ahead towards Aries and continuing to move forward. So that's going to happen on the 7th, that the retrograde in Pisces will stop. And then we'll work our way back through the end of those Pisces lessons and back into the lessons of Aries. In addition to that, after Mercury retrograde enters Pisces, It is going to be conjoining with Neptune. So it's again, we're going to have not only the sun and the moon conjoining for that solar eclipse, we'll have Mercury conjoining again with Neptune and the planet of dreams at this same degree. The force is strong, you guys. I'm telling you. I don't know that, like I said, I don't know that we have a choice because with that nodal axis being complete, if you haven't done it on your own, found that independence, released codependency and overgiving, it's going to be done for us. The universe would like us to help it out and balance out the energy, creating space or creating a void so that space our hands are open in order to be able to receive what it is new that the universe would like to bring us. Okay, so that is the big news for Saturday. I also have written down with this conjunction to listen to the whispers because, again, our ancestors are speaking loud the whole week. I feel like it's going to be magnified on Saturday evening, especially moving in to Sunday, where we'll be feeling this conjunction. Okie doke. I have one more day and we're all finished up. Thank you for still sticking with me. We are on the last day. Sunday, the 30th, is still going to be considered down here in this bowl energy before we start letting the yang energy take over and taking action here. So I would still consider the whole weekend down here as this new beginning is forming. We're getting off the old ride and getting ready to get on a new one. So on Sunday, we have our moon is still in Aries, and at 5:17 a.m. we have that void of course energy happening again. So as the moon goes void of course at again 5:17, it's going to be an all dayer again. So the last time it was only for 7 minutes. Sunday, it's going to be all the way from 5:17 in the morning Eastern Standard Time clear through till 4:15 that night. So I'm glad that we only had to put up with one work day as far as that void of course energy, because it's energy gets stalled out, right? And in addition to that void of course, it is also providing another square. So as Aries here is going to be squaring at that warning time. Okay, it's going to be challenging the Mars energy in Cancer. And so our progression, theme of progression, is going to be challenging our centering. We want to take action, but universal energies want us to get focused and stay centered. And while the 24 degree that we are squaring at, it's going to be 23 degrees, 4 minutes, rounding up to the Sabian lesson of 24. And that's allowing higher forces to shape our lives, is going to be challenging or creating tension. It can even, struggle, demand, frustrate. Sometimes it motivates and works out and reconciles because of that challenge. And what is it challenging? About being able to center ourselves into a harmonious blend of inner and outer realities. We may like how we are feeling, but we are waiting for that energetic work of the inside to show up on the outside. And that symbol shows up in the form of a woman and two men on a bit of sunlit land facing south. Okay. Whereas this is also an interesting symbol. These were divined almost 100 years ago at this point. It's an open window and a net curtain blowing up, blowing into a cornucopia, right? Allowing that wind energy to carry us. Now, the moon will continue to move all day through the theme of progression and all the way through the theme of proficiency as well. While this this Mars energy will be staying here because Mars is moving slower, than the moon energy moves the fastest. It moves around each sign every 2.5 days, as we said. So it might feel a bit of a challenge on Sunday, not only because of the void of course energy, but because of the square, it's squaring with our action. We got a planet of action, Mars, squaring its own self. So Mars rules Aries. Mars does not like to be in water energy. I don't like the whoa, whoa, whoa feelings. I just want to go, go, go instead of doing the whoa, whoa, whoa. That came out of nowhere. Maybe I hope that makes sense for you. Now, in addition, on Sunday, at 7:57 a.m. is a BFD because we do have, I think I did forget to say, it's a day of the lover's energy, which is why I was feeling like this was kind of funny here. A woman and two men, you might have a choice between two. This is past life soulmate energy of Gemini, and its sister energy being that of Capricorn devil energy power card, fear of making this choice, whatever it may be. Then you add on this squaring energy. I don't know how I feel about Tuesday or about Sunday right now. I don't know how I feel all the way there yet. And whatever is happening there, we are moving from Neptune, that dreamy energy that has been in Pisces, and we are finally moving into the sign of Aries. So after we have been in Pisces energy with Neptune since 2011. The 2011 would be a 2 and a 2, so that 22 energy flavoring coming back through. And that would furthermore be a 4 of the year of the Emperor. So that would have been a 4 year of stability. And we are entering the 9 year of completion with its energy moving out of its home sign of Pisces, where it's exalted, and into the fire sign of Aries, where it's in its detriment. But it will be putting action towards those dreams. Okay. So that is a long time to be there. So Aries energy is going to help us clarify which dreams are worth kind of rallying that battle cry for. So as we enter that first sign, we have plenty of experience with these Aries energies, with Venus and Mercury both traveling forward through them. We're both traveling backwards through them. And now Neptune is going to be revisiting these same symbols, right? Becoming the essence seed of our soul's incarnation. That is that dreaminess energy. This is going to help us take action on them. And again, it's in its detriment in a fire sign, but we will still be moving forward nonetheless. That is a long time since, I don't know what you were doing in 2011, but it is finally changing into the next piece of pie, out of the soul's journey of the 12th house and into the first house of self and ego. And that's kind of like a rebirth energy, with Aries being the first of the zodiacal wheel. And what you can do is look at where 0 degrees sits Aries, in what house that is in your birth chart. And that is going to be telling us where our new dreams, it's going to be in Aries. It's going to take 14 years, guys, for Neptune to make it through that Aries piece of pie. So it's going to be percolating there for quite a while. You might want to think about what you're inspired to accomplish, and also how we can, moving forward, and to fight illusions and hold on to dreams, and know the lesson of discernment about what is an illusion and a delusion versus a dream and something we can accomplish here. We might want to be thinking about Aries is kind of going to be the reality check. And I have here the logic litmus test, and that is one of my social emotional lessons, the logic litmus test. And I feel like I'm going to be adapting all of those lessons for adults. We can still have fun with them, we can still learn with them, we can still heal our heart through them. uh, I'll just be doing it with adults and whoever wants to join in the fun rather than middle school cheerleaders and middle school kids. So I hope this has helped give you some clarity. We will have that moon moving into Taurus by 4:15. So that tension should kind of ease there. The emotions will stabilize once again in the sign of Taurus, and that because it's a fixed energy, and that may help us out even here, calm some of those fears and those emotions from getting away from us, especially if there is a new start or a choice to make about a new start with our new beginning and our new moon energy still hanging around. All righty. Again, thank you so much for joining me here today and hanging out with me as I go through those energetics. And I will see you next week as we look at the next section of the week moving from the new moon up to that first quarter moon. Okay. Much love from my heart to yours. Bye bye for now.